this is brought to you by Major. Like and subscribe to get your notifications. Couldn't do it without you, need your full participation. And we giving back to show our appreciation. Tune in daily, get your positive vibrations. Learn different words in your own native language. Learn being black ain't all about slavery. They put that in the school book, that's part of education. We need to rewrite it, need some better information. Like how we built the pyramids and formed our own nation. Visit different continents and then try to invade them. Way before Columbus, but that ain't none of these pages. It's all just rumors, just a bunch of speculation. But why I never admit every hero is Caucasian. Even white people starting to say this shit is racist. Like how they talking to blacks for this vaccination. This is Major TV and this is brought to you by Major. Like and subscribe to get your notifications. Do it without you, need your full participation. And we giving back to show our appreciation. This is Major TV and this is brought to you by Major. Like and subscribe to get your notifications. Do it without you, need your full participation. And we giving back to show our appreciation. Appreciate the views and appreciate the comments. Keeping it real, always giving you this content. Hoping that my people don't take nothing out of context. Giving you this knowledge, hoping that it change your mindset. Telling you you're beautiful like the dawn of the sunset. And letting them know black power is more than just a concept. Major TV, you know we do this for the people. Changing the community and raising future leaders. This is Major TV and this is brought to you by Major. Like and subscribe to get your notifications. Couldn't do it without you, need your full participation. And we giving back just to show our appreciation. This is Major TV and this is brought to you by Major. Like and subscribe to get your notifications. Couldn't do it without you, need your full participation. And we giving back just to show our appreciation.
Positive vibration. Good day to you all. This is Major, and thank you for tuning in Major TV. Let's talk. We have a very, very, very special person coming through. Somebody I had met when I was first looking for my home, and it's funny because I gave her a real hard time looking for homes at discount, and come to find out there was no discount. And along the way, not only did she help me buy my first home, but showed me a lot of things about real estate. I used to always ask her to come on the channel and just talk to the people. And though I've spoke about real estate on several occasions, I really believe in this time and hour, it's important that we really talk about the real issues that's going on, how it's affecting us as a community. But without further ado, I want to bring this person on because it's imperative that we realize the importance of home ownership. It's imperative to understand about land and what have you. And though I know she don't talk too much or really get into the land aspect, but there's information about that too we can get from her. Without further ado, my real estate broker, Tamara Gaither.
Gaither. Oh, you just gonna mess up my name like that.
I was like, damn, what that is the last name? My bad. Gaither. Oh,
yeah, you just tearing it up. I mean, God, how long we done known each other?
For a minute, but I never knew your last name.
I know. That's all good.
Gaither, I'm sorry, Tamara Gaither. Welcome to the show. How you doing, Tamara?
Tamara Gaither. Thank you for having me.
Okay, what I said?
You know, it's okay.
Trust me, behind the scenes, I stay calling you Tamara. I mean, on Tara. I stay called Tamara Gaither. I'm sorry, man.
Yes, yes.
All kind of bloopers today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, cool. And thank you for correcting me. Anyway, tell people about you, what you do, what started you to get into real estate, etc.
Well, my name is Tamara Gaither. I am a real estate broker in the Atlanta metro area. I've been in the business since 2002. I was doing it mostly part-time. I really went full-time, probably like 2008, 2010, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
And I decided to get in business because I have an associate degree in business. But when we came up here, it was during 9/11, and nobody was really hiring based off your experience or, your education. It was kind of like, how much will you work for? So when I seen we moved up here, bought a house, and I seen the HUD from our house, and I was like, okay, that's what I want to do. I want to sell real estate, and I've been in it ever since.
Okay, cool. You say you moved from 9/11. Where you moved from?
Columbus, Georgia.
Columbus, Georgia. Okay.
Yeah.
And when you're seeing that they wasn't trying to pay you, your interest to want to get in real estate started then?
Yeah, my interest in real estate started when we were looking for the house and just the process and seeing the HUD, because I read over everything. And I was like, okay, they make that much money and that's what she did. Like, okay, that's what I want to do. And I had determined then I was going to do real estate and just put my mind to it, went to school and just went full force from then.
And what's your success rate as far as buying and selling?
You said my success rate?
Yeah, I'm talking as far as, how good you're doing, how good you've been doing with it, and so forth, so on. Like,
oh, I've been doing good. I average anywhere from maybe 4 to 5 houses a month. Not every month, but most months. Yeah.
Okay. And based upon your expertise, right? And look at this market. Is this a market you ever seen before?
No. One thing about real estate, what is so scary, it never stays the same. It's always changing. I was around when the recession hit 2007, 2008. I was around then, and it was totally different. It was a whole bunch of houses on the market, but nobody could buy then. So, I mean, back then you could get a 3-4 bedroom, practically new house for about $80,000, And now those people that bought the houses back then are the people that's cashing in right now, making the big bucks. So it's totally different. This market right here is, when the pandemic hit, I actually thought it was going to go down. It was, we really didn't know what was going to happen. And I was just very surprised to see the dramatic turn it took, as far as I've never seen it booming like this business, as far as houses on the market, as far as supply and demand. The supply is low, but the demand is still high. So no, I've never seen this type of market before.
And you said behind the scenes we were talking, you was talking about how actually home ownership in the Black community actually dropped. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, Black home ownership is at 43%, and that is less than it was 10 years ago. Actually, Hispanic home ownership is 50% right now, and they were always the lowest, so they done passed us, Yeah, so it's low right now.
And what's the cause of that, in your opinion?
In my opinion, okay, let me say this correctly. I don't want nobody to get mad. Okay, so in my opinion, we as Black people don't put that at the top of our list, being a homeowner. We do other stuff before we do that. And I mean, I didn't know anything about credit until I got in real estate, to be honest with you. And I'm still learning about credit. I'm constantly learning in this field, So a lot of people really don't know about credit. You'll be surprised how many older folks call me and they be like, Yeah, I know I can buy a house. I don't got no credit. I pay for everything with cash. They don't even really understand about credit, and I think that's part of the reason why the Black community rate is so low is the lack of education, and just it's not at the top of our list.
That's true, so true. And I really want to like take it somewhere else, and I want to, but right now I want to focus on the real estate side. But I guess talking about this is probably the most troubling and challenging thing to do. But let's talk about that. Why and how we felt in our community about not talking enough about credit, not being more informed about money managing and prioritizing. Because right now Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Mercedes Benz, all that still is top of the list, and it's crazy. I remember growing up in the projects. Even now you can see people can live in some of the worst places, even the projects, and be driving a foreign. Having Jordans and stuff like that. It causes as much as I mean, I hate to just go there, but I know this not something we was gonna really. I didn't think about talking about this, but we talking about it. And I know this probably not your expertise, but can we talk about how as a community we failing and not making sure that our people and I'm not saying people not trying, but overall our community is just totally like ass backwards in our thinking. And rather to we glorify, we prioritize, and what have you. Do you want to talk about that briefly?
Sure. I mean, everybody know the Black consumer. We're the one that spend the most money, but we spend the most money in the wrong places. I mean, you see people driving around with 2 mortgage payments, but no house. They're renting a house, or either they're staying with somebody. I think it's just we definitely got our priorities wrong in the community. We definitely need to have different mentalities and get more education as far as when it comes to credit, when it comes to business, and and spend money where it's needed to. Spend money on a house before you spend money on Louis Vuitton purses and cars and all the stuff that's on the Instagram.
Stuff that depreciate. They spend money on stuff that depreciate as opposed to stuff that appreciate. Now, one of my questions was going to be, and I guess I'm going to get into, people understand the benefit of having a house. People really don't understand the benefit, the long-term benefit. And I can speak personally about it myself, but can you tell people the benefit? Because there's so many in reference to being a savings account, reference to you they can refinance and take money out and invest in the venture or what have you. You can do so much with it, but I know you have more expertise in this.
Okay, owning a home, first of all, just being able to call it your own and not be investing. Just think about what you pay in rent. Just say you're paying $1,000 a month. That's $12,000 a year. That's going to somebody else's mortgage. When that $12,000 can go toward your mortgage payment and build equity in it, and you can use that equity. It's just like money. It's just like cash money. If you need it, you can refinance. You can pull money out to buy other things. I mean, and it's your home. So I think that real estate should be the first thing that everybody invests in. And I know people are saying, well, the interest rates are going up, but actually, I think we got a little spoiled the last 2 years because the interest rates were so low. But in 2018, where the interest rates are right now at the 5%, they were 5% in 2018. So, I mean, what happened was when the pandemic came, they lowered it very low. And I think people got spoiled with the 2.5%, the 3%, the 3.25%, But I mean, we're back at normal interest rates right now, what they were before. And they had to do something because of the inflation of these houses. If they didn't do it, I mean, it's no telling what would have happened because it's crazy out here in this real estate market.
If you just tune in, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Please like and share this live with Miss Tamara Gaither.
Just say Tamara G. You could
Tamara G. Tamara G.
You are tearing my name up. Good Lord, where the gate nerd?
What's your last name? What's your last name? What's your last name?
Gaither.
Gaither. All right, Tamara Gaither. And you see, she's definitely. I still said it wrong.
No, you said it right. You know that's that New Orleans in you. That Waldy.
And she's all over me for just ripping her name. I'm sorry, y'all know I would kill her name. We talk about real issues about home ownership and what we need to know. And Tamara is a real estate broker. She's also my broker, helped me buy my first home. And we do a lot of wheeling and dealing, talking behind the scenes about what's next and whatnot. And I wanted her to come on the channel and get engaged with everybody. And that's what I want to really talk about that's important to me. And I think a lot of us miss this, and as a community. With real estate, we can really do community building. A lot of our issues, a lot of our problems, a lot of things, if we were still investing in real estate, right? When I say real estate, I'm not just talking about home, I'm talking about, land as well, but we can really build a community just doing what we see everybody else doing. We see the Asian communities, we see the Italians and so forth, so on. We see different communities. We can do the same thing with real estate, right?
Yes.
And there's always deals. Even when you think there's no deals, right? So my question is, in the world, how does shit look for us?
How the real estate, I'm sorry.
Or community building.
Community building. Well, they're building they're building communities right now.
I'm talking about us as a community, right?
Uh-huh.
In reference to, like, we can really do community building with ascertaining properties, right? And then be able to create opportunity in the community in reference to selling to our people, as well as encouraging, real estate also deal with business as well, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they do that. They have programs like NACA. They have programs like Habitat, where you actually go in and help build your own house. So they do a lot in the community with the real estate.
I would talk us as a community, but I'm not talking about that. I get what you're saying. I'm talking about us as a people. Like, it's like, and I'm not saying people, and I know Devin George is doing something. I know you know about Devin George. He's doing something. I know about Habitat. I'm talking about us individual people invest in our community.
What can we do differently? Well, we definitely can get more educated. That's the first thing we need to do. We need to get some education. Without education, you're not going to know what to do. Learn about credit. Learn about your credit score. Learn the ins and outs, what to do and what not to do. Do you know that you can't really, when you have a credit card, you're not supposed to max it out for more than 20, 30%. It brings your score down. Did you know when you pay off something and they close that account, it brings your score down? See, a lot of things we don't know that we do make the mistakes on our credit. And I think education is the first thing. So as a community, if we offered education, just learn about the credit, learning about how to save your money, how to save your money and, be able to live beyond your means. I mean, not above your means, I think education is the number one thing. That's what we need to do with our community. Start supporting them with teaching them how to do better.
Well, also can be through examples too, right? They can be through examples too, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. So what is the number one problem, that, and you can go regardless to what you just said, though. What's the number one problem that you learn about a lot of our people that want to be homeowners?
They don't have a clue about credit. That is the number one thing. Like I said, I have older people like in their 50s and 60s that have called me and said, I know I qualify for a house. I pay for everything with cash. I don't got no loans or nothing. I mean, and they're 50 and 60 years old. So again, we just got to educate each other.
And let's talk about credit. Now, tell us what credit is and how credit works in reference to um, finance companies looking at you in reference to want to do business with you.
Okay. So when a company decides if they're going to give you a loan or not, it's not from them talking to you. It's what they're looking at. They look at your credit. Your credit says everything about you. Your credit tells that company if you pay your bills on time, if you live from check to check, because then all your cards are maxed out. Your credit history tells everything a creditor would need to know. So if you got late payments, if you do good, your history of being on time with your payments, the history of how much you spend on your credit card, they can look and tell everything by that. And it's like your credit card is your face card.
So you
That's
actually talking. It's all about relationships.
Your credit is your face card. I'm sorry.
So they judge you by your relationships, past
They
and
judge
present.
you by your credit.
All right.
Yeah.
But
They
I
looking
just
at
see
your credit.
relationships in reference to like you shake somebody's hand and you sign off and say you're gonna pay them a certain prescribed time, so forth, so on, which is all correct. I'm just breaking it down as far as relationship in reference to me borrowing. Say I'm gonna borrow from you, and you say, yeah, we got a system to submit it to, and say, well, damn, I borrowed $50 from you. That's unpaid within I don't know a year, and give you $2 a month. I don't know. I'm just saying, for example, So all right, cool. What we missing here though? I mean, because this is not nothing new people here in our community, but we missing in reference to us taking this serious. Because there are a lot of us that are renting, like you said, that might be paying, let's say, 1,000. I'm gonna use your words. Some of these houses, we're gonna talk about that next too. Some of these houses, these landlords buying and charging like 15, 16, 1700. You say shithole houses or something like that, or homes. Like you actually paying off their mortgage.
Yeah. You're actually, I don't understand. And then every year, like with the way the market is right now, I feel bad for renters because most of the investors, they're trying to cash in right now. So you have a lot of people that's getting 30-day, 60-day notices. And it's so many people getting those same notices that even the rental market is crazy right now. I mean, to rent something decent, you're probably going to spend $1,500 or more to rent something decent. And that price is what the price is now for homes that were probably about like 800-900 years ago. So, I mean, you can tell, I mean, you look at what's going on around us. All these corporations buying up all the homes. They're doing that to monopolize the renters market. Look at the people that was on the news. They were protesting the way the rents are going up. And what can you do? These people, most renters, if their landlord go up on their rent drastically, it's nothing they can do but take it because it's easier for them to stay where they're at than to move and try to find another home in this rentals market.
Because it's so hard.
It's so hard.
And let's talk about that now. We have private businesses and corporations that looking at certain neighborhoods, and specifically black neighborhoods, and they're buying these homes. And I know it's all over. I'm just saying our community.
It's not specifically black neighborhoods. It's all over.
Yeah. And they're buying these homes, right? And they jacking the prices up. How is that affecting the overall rental part of it?
It's hurting renters because it's inflation at its highest right now. People can't afford to pay rent, to pay these high prices in gas, to pay these high prices to buy food. I mean, everything is high right now. And it's like they're being forced to do it. I can imagine being a renter right now. I see my investors that have renters and how they don't went up on their rent, and and all the investors are trying to cash in. So now you're telling somebody they got 30 or 60 days to move in a market where it's just as bad as in a renter's market as it is in buying and selling, buying a home right now.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you think this have any relationship to what they did the stock market back in the 80s? How they ran the market up and then they crashed, people cashed out. Do they have any kind of similarity? Because it seems like that's what's going on with the real estate market.
So you think that I'm not familiar with that, but
in the 80s, they had I think late 80s, they say the mob had some to it, but it was running the market up, certain stocks and what have you, and it was off the roof, and then they cashed in, you know what I'm saying? And with the real estate market, it's kind of like bring that kind of, it's kind of like seem like it's like that because you have not just one group, you have several companies or more, and they really like I was telling you about New Orleans behind the scenes, right? In neighborhoods where and it's not too far from the lake, New Orleans on lake, lakefront area. These houses normally be like 3, 4, probably 5. These companies are buying these houses and they re-gentrifying it. They doing extra home improvement, and now the house is like 900,000, 800,000, $1 million, and we talking about homes where like for a long time black people live. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad to see that now it's gonna be hard for a black person to buy. A white person probably can buy it, but not a black person. You know what I'm saying? And they probably want to get stuck in that situation. Whereas if the house can carry that value, you know what I'm saying, the next couple of years and what have you. But I see something happening in our community, right? And I'm really bothered by what we're talking about because man, you've been talking about this for long. That's why I want you to come on my channel. But the situation looking really, really dire. And what can you tell the people that's dealing with this firsthand? Because somewhere down the line, we have to have some real goals because this is not going away anytime soon. So what can you tell the people about the travesty of what's going on with this rent and home buying?
What I would tell people is that now I don't foresee the market crashing, but with these interest rates rising, they are trying to level it out. So I would tell the people, don't give up on home ownership. Do what you need to do to try to purchase a home still. Okay. Get your credit together, put some money away, maybe every paycheck, because it's all right now. Buyers are having to pay the most they've ever had to pay before. Okay. They're having to pay down payments. They're having to pay their closing costs because it's very rare that you can ask a seller to pay for anything. And they're having to pay what they call appraisal gaps. And appraisal gaps is, and if you're not offering an appraisal gap is when you say, okay, a house is $100,000, but you put in an offer for $120,000, and you say, well, if this house doesn't appraise for $120,000, I'm willing to go X amounts over the appraised price. And that's what people are looking at. If you are just making offers right now that don't have that appraisal gap, you're probably not going to ever be able to buy a house right in this market right now. So I would tell people just to save your money, to be smarter about how you're spending your money, and just to prepare yourself for home ownership. That's the biggest thing you could do right now to get out of this renter's market. You should be running out of these renter's markets right now because it's crazy. It's not something you want to be in. It's going to continue to go up. When you enter it into a lease, that first 1 or 2 years that you got the lease for, it's going to go up the longer you stay there. So that's what you can count on. You may start off with a $1,200 lease, but in about 2-3 years, it might be about $1,500. So do what you need to do to prepare for home ownership. Get with the loan officer, get with the NACA, NACA is a very great program, very great program. And they offer credit counseling. They take you from point A to all the way to point Z. You know what I'm saying? And they hold your hand and tell you everything that you need to do. So try it, look into NACA, which is NACA. Is it NACA or maybe NACCA? I think it's NACA. NACA.com, great program. Also look into your credit. Actually sit down with a credit advisor and see what you need to do about your credit and do the steps that you need to do. I would say prepare yourself for home ownership. That's what they need to do.
I want to thank brother Jojo Salute for the super chat. Just showing love, big bro. Free ozone, real talk, free ozone. Thank you for the donation. We got Tamara G in the building.
Thank you.
I had to say that. I've been killing her last name. Apologies. Real issues about home ownership and what we need to know. She's a real estate broker out of Atlanta. She's also my broker. She helped me buy my home. If y'all have any questions, feel free to ask her questions. We really are talking about some real issues that's important in our community. And she was talking about home ownership right now is 43% in the Black community. And 10 years ago, it dropped because 10 years ago it was higher. It's Hispanic community is like 50%, and they normally have been significantly lower. And we talking about how private companies are buying up properties and jacking up the rent, the price of the home, and what have you. You're dropping so much jewels, but I have to really just get you regurgitate and reiterate some things that you've been saying. Talk to people again about what the stage of preparing, because I know you talked about credit advisor, saving or what have you, but I need you to say it again because we missing something. We are missing something as a people because it's not like this something new. It's not like we don't know what's going on. And a lot of us don't. I'm saying, but a lot of us do. But for those who do and really want to buy a home or really come out that rat race and really want to change their mindset of how they should go about, managing their life, can you explain to them the steps they need to take the rest of preparing themselves for buying a home? Because renting, I remember you told me what that was like 3 months ago. Good thing we homeowners. He was like, they're jacking that rent up for raggedy homes.
For raggedy homes. Okay, so you have to understand your credit. The higher your credit score, the credit that lenders look at is your middle score, which is usually Equifax. Equifax is the score you want to concentrate on. You have 3 scores. You have TransUnion, Experian, and you have Equifax. Equifax is your middle score. So the higher you get that, the better off you are as far as getting loans. So they have 3 main types of loans. They have a conventional loan, which is basically for people with good credit and that have some money to put down. They have FHA loans. Those are for people that have lower credit scores and have less money to put down for a down payment. And they're government insured. I'm sorry, they have conventional government insured, which is FHA and VA loans. Those 2 loans are for people with lower credit scores. FHA, some people can get a loan for $580. I wouldn't advise that because that's going to be the highest interest rate possible. I would say get your score up to about a 640 if you want to do an FHA. FHA usually start with 3.5% down. Conventional is, like I said, that's more for that you usually have to have a better score of I think it's like a 680 or better. But even with a 680 now, they're having people put 20% down. So, I mean, even scores with 680, they're having to put down, a good little penny. So the higher your score is, the better interest rates you get. Jumbo loans is the third one. Jumbo loans is for people with excellent credit. And that's more for people that's buying very expensive homes because FHA and conventional loans, they have a cap. Let me look at, because I got this information from my loan officer.
Take your time.
So, yeah. So the conventional loan, the maximum amount is $647,200. That's the maximum amount you can buy with a conventional loan. Your jumbo, well, your FHA, your VA loan, the maximum amount is $510,400. Your FHA maximum amount is $420,680. So anything above that, you have to have excellent credit and get a jumbo loan. But so prepare, do the credit, have somebody go over your credit and try to get your credit score the highest as possible. That should be your target goal, is to get it very high, because even if you have a 620, a 630, a 640, those scores will get you higher interest rates. And you should have the plan on trying to get the lowest interest rate possible. So try to get your score as high as possible. See what you need to do. Maybe you don't have enough credit. So they require you, the lenders want you to have 2 years of being on the same job or in the same field. So if you are, just say if you're a barber 1 year and then you switch fields and you're a trucker the next year, but you've been employed both years, you still, that's not going to be no good. You have to be in the same field for at least 2 years. So you can be a nurse and go from hospital to hospital, but as long as you're still going from hospital to hospital being a nurse, that's fine. So that's the first thing, employment. Make sure you have a strong employment, 2 years of employment. And you want to make sure you have the necessary trade lines. The creditor, they want to make sure that you are able to pay this mortgage back. So they want to know that somebody without credit is not good credit. You need to have credit in order to be considered to purchase a home. Okay. And then find out what your debt is. If you got debt, try to pay that off. See what you need to pay off, because your debt to income ratio plays a big part in your loan as well. So your debt to income ratio is, your debt is what's going out, your credit cards, your car note, any personal loans, all that is considered debt. And they take that is your debt to income ratio. Your income is what you make. And what they do is they average it out for, if you make $12,000, they average it out, $12,000 a year. They average the 2 years out. So that's $24,000. They average 2 years out and they get what you qualify for with that. So make sure you, when you're doing your taxes, very, very important, very important. So when you're doing your taxes, let me explain something to you. If you made $100,000 and you wrote $80,000 off, guess what? They only see that you made $20,000. That's very important, because I can't tell you, I can't stress enough how many times I have ran into this issue. People that made very good money, but of course, like all of us, we try to write off everything so we don't have to pay the high taxes back. But it's a hindrance when you try to purchase a property. So do not write off all your money during taxes. That's very important. You want to make sure you have enough to show that you gross in order to purchase a house. Remember, if you make $100,000 a year and you're writing off $80,000, it only looks like you made $20,000. That's not good. And they're going to average out for 2 years. So make sure when you get ready to purchase a house, the most recent 2 years that you showed enough income. That's very important.
We have a few questions from Darian Bird. How much should a first-time home buyer have saved?
Oh, that's very hard to answer, Darian Bird. You a terrible person name. Darian Bird. Okay. So let's just go on the low end, okay? Let's just say FHA. So FHA requires 3.5% down. Let's do it. Let's do an easy number, $100,000. So that's going to be $3,500, right? Can you do the math for me?
Yeah, I can do that, Matt.
So $3,500 down payment. But let me tell you, when you're doing an FHA loan, that's not the only money that you have to come up with. You have to come up with the upfront mortgage insurance premium, which is 1.75%. So that's what, $1,750 more. Add that. That's upfront. And then you got to pay your closing costs. Your closing costs is, say, about maybe 3 to 4%. So that's about $4,000 more dollars. And then you have to prepare yourself for these gaps, these appraisal gaps. You have to, what I do before I take anybody out, I have my loan officer actually give them a breakdown. Remember, you had a breakdown of the numbers. And I don't take nobody out without doing that, because I want you to know, you know how your finance is. I don't know. So I want you to actually look at the numbers that you would have to be bringing to the table. Because remember, sellers are not paying for anything. They are not paying nothing. Okay. Nothing. So all those numbers you see on that breakdown, you're going to have to bring. Once you look at that, you come up with an amount that you feel comfortable with. And I would say every price range of house is different. The lower end homes, you might not have to bring as much. But the higher end homes, I've seen homes, people bring $100,000 over cash out their pocket. You hear what I'm saying? $100,000 over what it appraised for in this market. Now, on the lower end, I've seen when it first started. Okay. So when the pandemic hit, it wasn't like this before. You didn't have to do an appraisal gap. You didn't have to bring, extra money to the table like this. I was literally doing 20, 30 offers for one client. And I asked the agent, I said, look, what I was doing was, if the property was 100,000, I was offering 120, 130,000. Oh yeah, I'm offering that amount, right? So I asked this agent, I'm like, okay, look, this is about my 30th offer. Can you please tell me, what am I doing wrong? And I never will forget that agent told me, your offer is like everybody else's. Your offer is, of course, it's higher. Of course, it's $30,000 more. But guess what? Those offers have financing contingencies and appraisal contingencies. Appraisal contingencies in there that says, guess what? You can offer over $1 million of what they're asking for. If it doesn't appraise for that amount, the seller has to come down. If not, then you can walk away with your earnest money. So if they have that contingency in every offer, like she said, all of our offer was the same. So what they were looking for was an appraisal gap. How much is your client willing to pay if it doesn't appraise? And no lie, about 2 years ago, my first appraisal gap for my client was $2,500, and we won. That was on the low end, because now it's a lot higher. But that's when I start seeing the market shift. And so now
the financial institution allowing that appraisal gap.
Oh yeah. If you have the money, and that's what I said, if you have the money. So not everybody have the extra money, and this market's not for everybody right now. Before people could save $10,000, $15,000 up, and that was enough. But this market's not for everybody right now. You definitely have to have strong funds. And another thing is, you're competing with cash offers. Like, I've never seen so many cash offers. Literally 80% of, when I'm listing a house, 80% of the offers are cash offers. And these investors, like before, if the house was 100,000, investors now would be the ones that offer like maybe 90, 80,000, because it's a cash deal. Now, when you see your investors, it's $100,000 house and they're offering 120, 130,000. Pay attention. Pay attention.
Dorian, I'm sorry for butchering your name. He said anything. Dorian. All right. Next question is, what are your thoughts on rental on home ownership?
Oh my goodness. He knows what I think about this. I don't agree with that at all because let me tell you, they have these companies. They're actually okay. So what the companies do, like Halo, Home Partners, and it's Divvy, I think. What they would do is purchase the home with cash, and then they'll let you rent it back, which is going to still be higher rate than a normal rental. And then at the end of the lease, they give you the option to purchase it back. But what they have you do is put down like is they qualify, they pre-qualify you as if you're trying to buy a home. So they don't accept everybody. So your credit history has to be a little strong and you have to have the income. So what they do is they have you put down about like maybe 3.5% or a percentage that you're giving to them. And if you walk away, if for some reason you walk away from the deal, they get to keep that money. And let me tell you why I don't agree with that. Okay, so I honestly think people should do it the traditional way. Wait to get your credit score up and just buy the traditional way instead of going through a third party. Because what's happening is, guess what? The way these interest rates are going up, they're predicted to go as high as 7% by the end of this year. I don't know if it's going to go, but they're predicting it. Okay. So what you qualify for now, you're not going to qualify for later. And that's what's going on in the market. What I'm seeing a lot of right now is a lot of houses going back on the market. And they're going back on the market because you got to think these buyers been out here for months shopping for houses. When they give you a pre-approval, the pre-approval is good for 90 days. But guess what? When they originally got approved, they had they were at a lower interest rate and they had to wait 3 months to find a house. Guess what? Now they're not even qualifying for the house no more. The higher the interest rate is, the lower the house amount you qualify for. So I have literally seen people, and this is happening a lot, where they're going on the contract and they no longer qualify for the amount of house that they're looking for. So yeah, it's really tough out here.
Sadie asks, does it matter if I have new credit lines within the last 6 months?
Yeah, okay. So they want you to have credit lines for 24 months. So yeah, so just keep doing the right thing for the next 24 months.
Oh, Dorian asks, will a large amount of cash down help me get a loan if my credit isn't that great?
No. You can have all the money in the world. If your credit is not straight, guess what? They are not playing. No. So you have to have the cash and the finance. They have different types of loans, but you still have to show them you're qualified. They have like for entrepreneurs, they have bank statement loans. But I've tried that with a couple of my clients and they wasn't qualified for it because you have to actually show your income, consistent income going into that account. And it can't be coming from another one of your bank accounts. You know what I'm saying? So if I have a trucking business, I have to make sure that I have for 12 months straight, I'm showing nothing but deposits from customers, not deposits from Tamara or other banking account, and I'm just transferring money. That don't count. So they have those type of loans if your credit score is strong. But money doesn't really matter no more. It's all about your credit.
I want to thank Tamara G for coming in the building. I want to thank everybody watching. We're talking about real issues about home ownership, what we need to know. I'm just glad that we're having a discussion because I think a lot of time we get caught up in a lot of other discussions that is important, but also this right here is equally or more important because if we can't control the terms, in reference to owning our own house or home, then we really are being victimized by a society that have been oppressing us for so long. And I just feel like at this point right now, it's time that we become more informed and make more aggressive moves because we can't talk about building a community if we don't have we don't have nothing to fall back on. We don't realize millionaires are made often just through real estate. Being able to be creative with their financing, use hard money lenders, et cetera, to make their moves and whatnot. And for us as a community, it's like I feel like we just some steps behind. And I want to thank you so much for coming on and what have you. Tell everybody your social media, website, and what have you.
Well, you can find me at Instagram at Tamara Gaither, TamaraGaither. Facebook's the same. Yeah.
Okay, cool. What are your last words before we end the show? What are your last words? What's your last words? Talk to the people for your right
I
out
would
here.
tell people to stay encouraged. Do not let these times beat you down. We will overcome. We always do. Just stay positive. Keep your faith in God and know that He's going to lead you the right way.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna go through the comments before I end. You can stay around, or you can leave. But I just want to let everybody know I see them. Well, before small people came through small groups, gonna recognize them. Ophelia Francis, Shalom family, Shalom sister. Thank you for coming through. Shining Light 333, Shalom made the TV and guest panel and chat this evening. Thank you. Michaela Dawson, Shalom Major Black Power. Thank you for coming through. My brother, Bridge Club, Shalom family. Black Power, King, Queen, yeah. We working. Salute. Major guest panel. That's Tamara G in the building.
Oh, let me say one more thing. Oh, I'm sorry.
Right.
I don't know how I missed this. Okay. If you are working on your credit and you are trying to purchase a home, do not make any major purchases. Please. Don't go buy a car. Don't get a fresh car note. Don't get a loan. Don't get a new credit card. Don't do anything with your credit if you're trying to purchase a home. That's very important too. I had to say that because that's a lot of mistake. A lot of people makes that mistake.
And then stop you from buying a home because of that?
Yes. Because remember, it's your debt to income ratio. So if you're trying to purchase a home and you go get a car note for $500, that's more debt. It's gonna change the numbers.
All right. What about
and then when you purchase something major, it takes your score down for a while until you start making payments on it.
Right.
That's another thing. Yeah.
Right. Thank you for sharing that. Jacqueline Rouse, how you doing, sister? Major TV, love, B1 fam. Major TV, what's up? Shine Light, Black people are not collaborating on our investment jointly in our communities. Most definitely, man. We definitely are not doing that. And it's unfortunate because we got the money or we got the means to make the money, but working together has been a big problem. I really believe, and I was kind of asking Tamara about it, is the fact that that's community building. When you can buy up that real estate in the community, you know what I'm saying? You can do so much with it. You can leverage it in everything, and you can invest in businesses and what have you. You can bring people on and whatnot. And it's been so many missed opportunities in Lord because the greed factor and the competition factor and the self-hate factor. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you imagine we in a town, we around Atlanta where you have, it's one of the few places where you have a bunch of young millionaires, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Black millionaires. And it's sad that instead of Young Thug and all the rest of them focus on building a community, they're going there and add to the destruction already going on. Yeah. And now they got to pay the white man back, you know what I'm saying, and get a system, all that money they made. And you know how hard to get out the hood and becoming a millionaire and get caught up like that. It's just so unfortunate.
Yeah.
Pat Tyler, how you doing? Salute, fam, at Major. Thank you so much, Pat. I see the love being shown by Dorian. Seymour, Black Power, salute, Major. Shalom, Queen. B1 fam, Black Power, salute. Thank you for coming through. The boy laughing at me, Dorian. Oh, good, bro. Keep crying emojis. Y'all know how you put your names, man. Y'all know that, man. I've been calling Tamara, Tamara.
I just that's my little nickname.
You never told me nothing, man. I feel good. You gonna get me on camera and blast me. It's all good. I still love you though.
That's because you tore up my last name, Gaither. You put an N, it don't even have an N in there. Like, come on now.
Oh man, I never had to call you that. You know what I'm saying? It's all good though.
Yeah.
Thank you, Major TV and guests, for this knowledge. Peace. Real talk. We're gonna have it back on. Real talk. Hopefully come through. Thanks for doing this. Thank you. We gotta definitely change the climate because all this mass shooting, everybody talking about that. We have to realize we're in a climate of hate.
Yeah.
Hollywood glorified violence for years. In music, these white executives and all these big companies, they glorify violence for years. You know what I'm saying? These big gun companies been pushing all this nonsense, commercial ads, paying the politicians, all that been going on for years. You know what I'm saying? There's real trauma in mental health. There's so much going on in this country, you know what I'm saying, that is sad. And you can't legislate hate and trauma, you know what I'm saying? And if you're not trying to fix it, not trying to break all these different vices up and really try to, just change everything, because it's gonna get worse before it get better in my eyes, Tamara. And I just, like I said, I talked about it. I said the intensive killing, the propensity to kill black people, right? But I spoke about mass shooting, and right after I did that, what happened in Texas, and I dropped it on my own website, but I wasn't gonna keep talking about it because we already know, you know what I'm saying? I feel like we still to get ourselves together in the midst of all this chaos, and buying our home is important. So that's what's up, y'all. But I want to thank you so much again, Tamara G in the building. Much love to all of y'all. Y'all know what I'm about to say. Y'all be good, y'all be safe, and just be you. Peace.
Let's talk. Yeah. Doing it from the heart, that's the only way of doing it. Giving them food for thought, cause these Jews are real jewelry. Remember, we used to march for peace. The days Dr. King, remember, we would walk the streets showing our unity. Yeah, strength in numbers, we need to talk among us. We need to show more love and be more supportive. Product of my environment, something wrong with the soil. Soldier with no platoon, cause every day it's a war. Doing it from the heart, that's the only way of doing it. Giving them food for thought, cause these Jews are real jewelry. Remember, we used to march for peace. The days Dr. King, remember, we would walk the streets showing our unity. Doing it from the heart, cause that's the only way of doing it. Giving them food for thought, cause these Jews are real jewelry. Remember, we used to march for peace. The days Dr. King, remember, we would walk the streets showing our unity. Let's talk. I ain't saying that it gotta happen overnight, but we gotta make a change to preserve life, serve a greater purpose, and start with you and I. Gotta plant seeds of hope deep in your mind, and let it grow to something you never thought it would, and give back all the blessings to the neighborhood, just the way you should, the only way to do it. This is Major TV Music, Black Media. Doing it from the heart, that's the only way of doing it. Giving them food for thought, cause these Jews are real jewelry. Remember, we used to march for peace. The days Dr. King, remember, we would walk the streets showing our unity. Doing it from the heart, that's the only way of doing it. Giving them food for thought, cause these Jews are real jewelry. Remember, we used to march for peace. The days Dr. King, remember, we would walk the streets showing our unity.
The Negro is still languished in the corners of American society, finds himself in exile in his own land. So we've come here today to dramatize a shameful condition. In a sense, we've come to our nation's capital to cash a check. When the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, they were signing a promissory note to which every American was to fall heir. This note was a promise that all men, yes, black men as well as white men, would be guaranteed the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is obvious today that America has defaulted on this promissory note insofar far citizens of color are concerned.